It has been a while since I've sat down and actually recorded a voiceover for an opinion piece or something like this. My goodness. Hello everyone, my name is Moose. Welcome to my channel. I make some Overwatch content and some Marvels content. Today I want to talk about the February 12th spotlight coming up for Overwatch 2. Hopefully the Savior Day, the day they decide to announce or roll out some sort of fixes. I want to talk about the current state of Overwatch, my hopes, and honestly what's gonna kind of probably most likely come in a rolling patch that will be starting after this February 12th announcement. So if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe, come check out, come hang out. We stream on Twitch, we post videos and shorts all the time here, so if you guys are interested in some more Rivals content, learning some stuff, and having a good time, make sure you guys join up. The current state of Overwatch is really, I feel as odd as this is going to say, is very lumpy. I know that's strange, hear me out. If you look at DPS, supports, and tanks, you can circle a bunch of characters that all do the same thing and have been a very dominating force from quick play to rank, to the low ranks, to the high ranks, and even in OWCS. You will see a constant sort of idea of how the game is played all around this lumpy sort of play style. So, DPS dominated by hit scan. That has been something across the board from casual to competitive to everywhere in between. Cassidy, Sojourn are two ideas that have always been this sort of key lock system, this sort of skeleton key, bail you out, and then all the other hit scans have also, when they've had their time to shine, have all felt dominant. Ashe is a dominating force, Widow a dominating force, Cassidy, Sojourn as mentioned before. You have Soldier, who even though isn't a dominating force, if you come across a one of those cool kids with the glass pads and those the Sakurai cherry blossom sort of like arm wrist thing they use to shoot with, you're gonna get smoked. It's just a matter of time. It's just the inevitable. They are Thanos, and I feel that hit scan is something that doesn't dominate in Rivals because they don't have a lot of hit scan characters. That's the given. But the thing that makes it fun is when Rivals was first coming out, and I will be comparing to Rivals. This isn't a video that Rivals is better. It's a video that what Overwatch can learn and what I've learned as a player. And seeing that majority of the DPS aren't hit scan, or if they are, they have a more stronger niche to them. If you look at Punisher's hit scan, he teams up really well with Rocket, but his turret is honestly projectile based, and then he has a shotgun. So there's a lot of sacrifice and ideology in the gameplay. Psylocke, she is hit scan, but she also doesn't do a lot of damage at range. She has little shotguns on her arms. Her thing is getting in there and making a one-shot kill and hopefully surviving. That's the skill expression. I feel like we've lost that when it comes to Overwatch, and it's something big and it's something changing that needs to be addressed. So going to supports too, the big issue that you can feel, the big three, is Ana, Baptiste, and Kiriko. All have an insane ability that allow them to get themselves out or cause a huge shift in the fight. Granted, yes, that is what support is supposed to do, but I feel that the sharpness, I guess is the best word I can look for here, of how these abilities affect everyone is what makes them so powerful. A well-placed lamp, it does take a while to kill. That's immortality. That's a burst out. That's a lot of healing that Baptiste can do. It really changes the fight to almost reset it. Ana, anti-grenade. I don't need to say anything else. I can guarantee you the frustration as someone has felt as a random anti-grenade is thrown, and at times it does 90 damage, at times it does 75 damage, and you can't get healed. It's a big game changer, and a lot of times fights feel dependent on the supports, which I don't think is a good thing. I think fights should feel dependent on your team's ability to play as a team. Tanks, they're kind of just lumpy. They're just lumpy guys. I mean, look at Hazard. He just wah and lumps at you. He sounds like Wario if he came from the Highlands and jumps at you. And then he takes 90 years to die, and then he jumps out, and then he gets super healed again. I have OWCS in the background, and all I've seen today is a Scottish psychopath jumping people down. Granted, there's a lot of pick and bans that are going on, which is nice, which is something I'll talk about later, but just seeing Malga banned a lot too is also kind of like, it comes into that lump sort of state. Reinhardt is a lump, Roadhog is a lump, and then they all have these abilities that drastically change something so sharp, it doesn't feel like there's a build-up. And I feel like that's something that Overwatch has lost, is that identification of a team fight into a build-up. So where does that go from here? Well, I want to talk about now my hopes, just kind of things that I want to see change in the future, things I want to, it's a wish list, it's a pipe dream. I don't think it's a bad idea. Some of these are most likely going to happen. They will be revisited later on in my honesty section, but first and foremost, Marvel Rivals team-ups are actually an idea that I didn't realize I needed until I booted up the game. You look at the Gamma Trio, Hulk, Strange, Iron Man. Iron Man benefits from that so much. He is such a powerful character when he gets that gamma boost, but he still has the ability to be good depending on his team how well the person plays him without a Hulk. It doesn't make him impossible to use, you just have to learn how to play with the team. But when you learn to play around these team ups, it works a lot better. How can Overwatch implement something like this? We can do some very easy cherry picking. Let's go look at the lore. We've seen things in these little shorts. Brigitte and Reinhardt make a giant shield at one point. Genji slides on Mei's ice. You know, Mercy has the ability to pick someone up. Like, there is little driblets of that in there. Now, I know you say don't swear to lore. I'm not saying lore is going to balance the game. What I'm saying is there's ideas in there that already exist. If you look at Psylocke, Magic, and Black Panther, these three I really want to talk about in this video because this is an underrated trio I find in Rivals. They have the ability, Magic has the ability, I should say, to pass Psylocke and Panther the ability of Limbo, which is just Tracer's Recall, but instead of fully healing you, you only get temporary health. The reason I want to talk about something like this is I think this is a very good direction for Overwatch to push themselves into, where it allows for different play styles. If you want to play hyper aggressive, if you want to lock in 3 DPS, you can find ways to make your DPS sustain themselves without permanency. Temporary health depletes right away after you use the Limbo ability on Psylocke or Panther, and they have to escape or find a way or finish a kill. It's a split decision making. Am I going to continue this fight, get in there, and hopefully someone heals me, or do I have to use this to get out and go find a health kit? When you make your DPS less reliant and you make them have to express themselves better in skill, no longer can you have someone just go, oh, where my heal's at. You're always going to have someone who's toxic, but if the person's good enough and they are able to use their utility and make it possible, you have the ability to make hyper aggressive playing, slow playing styles, poke styles, different brawl compositions to bring back that familiarity to Overwatch. And I really hope that's something that they look into the future, not just for DPS, but for tanks and supports, just to shake up the way things play. And of course, just moving now into what, honestly, I hope that happens. And I'm going to start off with hopefully no more role passives. This kind of blends in between the hopes and honesty because they did kind of really seem to swear by the passive stuff, but it just needs to go. The tank stuff doesn't feel good. The DPS stuff doesn't feel good. The support stuff, okay, that's fine. The only passive that should stay is if you're out of combat for however long, I think it's 5 seconds, you start auto-genning health. That's it. That is the only one I believe should stay. And there's arguments for it to go. That's the only one I'll be willing to defend. So if you let me know what you think of that, you can all share your comments down below. And of course, honestly, 6v6 I think has to come back. Getting rid of the lumpy issue, playing together, 6v6 did feel really good. I came into this game in Overwatch 2 primarily. I got started in 5v5. 6v6 felt better. So it's not even like I'm just defending the old guard. And the last thing, honestly, that really needs to happen is those Season 9 health pool. The 250 health, I know they have 250 health in Rivals, but that game was designed from the ground up for 250 and other pools. Overwatch isn't like that. Overwatch doesn't have the breakpoints. Certain characters didn't get brought up to fix that. It's not working. Certain characters are benefiting from it because that's just them shooting more gains them more benefit. And that's not something that is good for the game. We need all characters to be able to express themselves. Even if you're a one trick, even if you're a super flexible player, you need to be able to express yourself, show the time you put into the game, show the time that you've reflected, and make a composition work instead of just being like, well, this guy's super tanky, let's just throw Reaper at the issue. I would like to see that health pool go back down. We need some of the old breakpoints back very desperately. honestly, all in all, like Overwatch, the game has been figured out. It's God knows how old at this point. And I know Rivals has shown there's a lot more to offer in this space, and this is a huge learning point for Blizzard. This is a huge changing point. This is something really important that they need to do. I think competition's good. I think competition's healthy. It spurs creativity. It spurs copying each other but putting a better spin on it. And like, I don't think Game of the Year 2016 wants to go out on a wet fart like they are. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys would like to see coming up from the February 12th Spotlight. Share your comments and thoughts down with me below in the comment section. I appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the videos. Kind of just figuring out what I want to do. I wanted to just kind of get back in and record one of these. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. Leave your opinions down below. I know I have a lot to work on as a creator, but you can always share the thoughts. But most importantly, nerf Genji.